Debt collectors, bailiffs and fear. What you should know. Hello, my name is Oliver and I've had probably 10 CCJs in my life and bailiffs turning up at my door. We've all been through debt, we've all had bailiffs turn up, that's why you're here at this video. But I'll tell you what you're not here for, because you're probably new to the channel, you haven't subscribed yet. Click that subscribe button right at the beginning of this video, smash the like button if you're new, and if you're not new, because today is episode 19 of recording 100 days in a row for the beginning of 2026. Now, bailiffs, debt collectors, debts. What's the situation? Why have I had bailiffs and stuff turn up at my door? What's the situation? Well, if you didn't know, I've had probably 10 CCJs. I've had 5 permanent CCJs on my credit file, and in a few weeks I'm going to have 0. Very excited about that. It's taken a long time to happen. These have all been parking fines, every single one of them, for parking from when I was homeless. And it was absolutely sucked, but because I didn't have an address and things were registered everywhere, bailiffs turned up. Bailiffs turned up at relatives' houses. Bailiffs have turned up at my own. Bailiffs haven't just turned up for me, but for other people. Not like, you know, previous tenants or relatives or something. It is absolutely crazy sometimes what happens when bailiffs get involved, and it is scary. But I'll tell you, the first thing you should do, don't open the door. Okay? You've got a bailiff at your door, don't open the door. We're not going to have bailiffs, okay? Close your curtains. Don't let them know you're in. If they're after your car for repossession, honestly, just give it up. Depends on your debts, obviously, depends on the situation. You know, everything is... It depends. I understand a lot of people rack up credit cards and then bailiffs come, or parking fines like me and bailiffs turn up. Every situation is different, so I do understand. But if it's for a car, they're going to see your car in your driveway outside. It's going to go anyway. End of. But what you should know. So, bailiffs can clamp a vehicle. If you do have a vehicle, they can clamp it. If it's finance, I don't know if they can clamp it. I don't think they can. But they can clamp your vehicles, okay? So if you do own a vehicle outright, they can clamp it. If they turn up at your door, don't let them in. Close your curtains. End of. We don't want any bailiffs coming inside your house at all. We don't want bailiffs to see anything that you've got in. Do not deal with bailiffs directly, okay? You can usually find out from the letter that they'll chuck through your letterbox who the debt's by. Find out who the debt's by, find who the debt collector is. Once you've got the debt collector's details, be like, what is this for? And they'll say, oh, it's for American Express, it's for a PCN and this company, okay? Whatever it is, go, okay, thank you, I can't pay today, but thank you, and hang up the phone. You then call up the initial place, because usually, 9 times out of 10, if they're not a dick, and you can talk to them, and you can be sincere, and you're not going to be aggressive, you can pull the debt back. You can get it back. So rather than paying £800 to a bailiff, £500 to a debt collector, you're paying 80 quid for your initial fine, because at the end of the day, everyone's situation is different, and you have to be able to tell people about your situation. You know, if you have been struggling with homelessness, if you do have no money, if you are paying £2,000 a month in child support, whatever you say to them, right, you've got to sound sincere and truthful. Whether it's the truth or not, it's completely your problem. I'm not going to get involved in that. But you need to tell them what your situation is. You need to be able to sympathise. You need them to be able to sympathise. And usually they can bring the debt back. Debt collectors are horrible. They will send CCJs and debt letters. And sometimes at the bottom of the letter, if you read the letter, rather than getting scared, it will say, not subject to High Court or bailiff action. Awesome. If you get that letter, cool. Done. No, it's not done, because they can get you. Depends how old it is, how old the debt is. You know, I'd like to say that there's 6 years that they can claim within, but honestly it's a lie. They can do it longer than that. I'd like to say that, you know, there's the law, but they honestly don't care. If it ends up going towards a CCJ, you can make a report against the CCJ and you can drag it back again. You can delay things, you can stop things, you can even make offers on debts, but you do not deal with any bailiff at your door. You never give them money. You never let them enter your property, ever. Don't do it. If they're at your door, I don't care if you're in a flat and they're buzzing you, or they've turned up at another relative's house because you used to live there, or an old address and you somehow find out, do not deal with them directly. Get that letter, get where the debt is from, and you follow the path backwards. And once you're there, then you can sort out the issues with the finances, okay? you can come to some sort of agreement. You might be able to get some of it written off. I did have that. I had a bailiff turn up at a relative's property of mine, and this is exactly how it went down. I get a call from said relative saying we've had bailiffs at the door, and this is the letter, and they sent me a photo of it. I was like, right, okay. So I could see it was with a specific debt collecting company. So I was like, okay, cool. So I called up the debt collectors company. I was like, what is this about? And they would say, oh, it's about blah, 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 blah. I was like, okay, right, cool. I would then go online, find the details, wait 3 hours in a queue with someone else, follow all the phone call trail round, and I got to the council office that it was with, the debt. And I told them my situation. You know, maybe it was slightly elaborated, but I told them the situation. And from, I think it was like £812, the bailiff wanted at the door. The same day I paid off for £25. You can get them completely written off. You can enter payment plans, but do not deal with a bailiff. They can clamp your cars, and when a car clamping happens, that's when things will get difficult. So if you do have a vehicle and you're aware that someone is coming after you, hide your vehicle. That's the best thing I can say. Unless it's on finance, just don't give it to them, but return it to Honda or Aldi or wherever you got it from. Just return your vehicle. You will be okay. You will be. Yes, there's a chance that debts can become CCJs. As I said, I've had around 10. I've had 5 permanent ones on my file. I had a few that came on which I paid off. I had 3 2 months ago, which I had to pay off. It happens. CCJ sometimes just appear up out of nowhere because letters might be going to other houses, or you've been ignorant, or you've been ignorant enough to completely ignore them, rip them up and put them in the bin. Look, we are all guilty of that, and I'm telling you the truth. I've been completely guilty of that. I've gone, yeah, whatever. The debts, some of them do genuinely disappear. Some of them have for me, I'm not going to lie about that, but some of them turned up 6-7 years later. And when your life is in a completely different position, you don't want things to affect you. When it became CCJs, they upped the price. And that one was sucky because you have a month to pay it off. And I did pay it off. I paid off 3. And it was difficult, but I did it. But when it comes down to bailiffs and debt collectors, it's tricky. And if you do follow it all the way back and you deal with someone who doesn't want to drag the debt back to them, you go to the debt collector and you negotiate, because it's likely they've purchased the debt for 10 pence to the pound. So for them it's pennies. Say it's a £500 debt. Could you get it negotiated to £180? Yes, you could. That is a very good example I'm giving you that I've been through. You can get it negotiated all the way down. I got a £400 one down to £50 once. You can do that. And then you can enter a payment plan and you can pay it off. You don't want CCJs on your file because you might want to buy a house one day. You might need an emergency loan one day. You might need, I don't know what your situation is. You might need anything, but honestly, having a clear credit file is the best thing ever. When I got my 5 years ago, it was tricky. And I didn't know I had them straight away. I never received a letter. I tried to fight them after. But I got to satisfy them, and it took me years to satisfy all 5, but I have 2 left and they are satisfied, and they will be leaving my file very, very soon. Very soon. I'm counting the days, and once that happens I have a completely clean credit file, and then I can actually go and buy a house, or I can do whatever I want, and that is the goal. It's taken me long enough. If I never had these CCJs, I probably would have owned a property years ago. It is what it is. That is life. So just to recap, don't answer the door to bailiffs. Do not let them in. Lock your gates, lock your doors, hide in a room until they go. Once you've got the letter, you follow the paper trail all the way back. Go through the debt collector, find out who it's with, follow the paper trail back. You can get some debts completely wiped for free. You can pay little to no money. You can get things negotiated with the debt collectors. Again, it's scary, but you can do it. I've done it enough times. I know what I'm on about, and I'm not the only one who's done it. Loads of people do it. We all have to do it. We all have to make sure we're okay. And once you have a clean credit file, you can start generating wealth and building up yourself and everything, and that will be amazing. Do not let this stuff hang over you. Do not let it cause you stress or anxiety. What has happened, end of. We'll forget about it. But for now, thank you for watching this video, and I do hope you have enjoyed it. If you feel I've missed any points, or you have any questions, let me know in the comments below, because I'd really like to know. Adios, mis amigos, and I shall see you guys all in the next video, which will be up tomorrow. Goodbye for now.